we line up, we're in our stance here. Let's turn this way. This time, instead of collar tying with my trail hand, I'm going to post on his head, right? What typically happens when someone posts on your head? You should either snap it or you reach for it, right? So if this guy reaches for my wrist, I've got one or two things that I typically do, right? So I go post, he reaches, right? So he's grab the wrist. So as he's grabbing this wrist, all I'm doing is I'm bringing my hand back to my hip. And notice what that does, right? It gets him to pull into me a little bit. And the first setup I've got is I'm just going to swipe the head with my lead hand and shoot the single to that side, right? So I go post, he grabs, pull it to my hip, swipe, and typically when this swipe happens, his arm raises up, and now I can shoot underneath. Now it's just pull, swipe, single, drive in, hit the foot, right? So a little bit quicker now. I go post, grab, swipe, shot. All I'm trying to get him to do is try to reach this hand up, right? A lot of times when this swipe happens, it's not a heavy collar tie, it's just swipe the head, slide underneath, right? A little bit of touch and go. So I go post, swipe. Now I'm sliding off. This hand goes to my hip and I swing to the single. Make sense? So for you righties, it's going to be post, he grabs, swipe, slide. Level change, right? Here, single leg up into him. This motion of me pulling back to my hip, all that's doing is it's getting him to rock and lean forward, right? So that's why I post and I pull it to my hip. The second part of this move, so I'm going to show the second sequence, is that this guy knows I'm going for it, right? He still grabs my wrist, I swipe, now I'm faking, he takes his leg back. All I'm doing is I'm stepping and grabbing, right? Swipe, step, grab. Now I'm dragging, my outside hand grabs, and I can finish with the double. Or the high seat, right? So it's going to be go post, swipe, drag, run. All that's doing is, right, he's got to react. I'll put my hand out there, swipe, step, and then this hand's grabbing right underneath his armpit. Now I'm pulling it across to my hip. As I step and I lean. Now my trail hand's grabbing the hip and I run through it, right? So that's the sequence, right? Post, he grabs, tap, swipe the leg, and if he doesn't take that leg back, shoot the single. If he takes that leg back, now I got the drag. So it's here, right? That was a good block, right? Same thing. Drag, right? And even if I miss it, right? Say that same thing happens. Here, he steps back. I still can drag, or I can snap, right? Here, takes it back, snap, drag, run the corner, finish, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Post, swipe. Any questions? All right, let's try it. 1, 2.